Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna talk about Infernal Fire Rain. So he's a fire and earth physical envy attacker who learns fire type evoke magic attacks after his brave shift. So his base form strengths, he can equip daggers, swords, great swords, katanas, maces, hammers, spears, and fists, and he can also equip a variety of armor. So by awakening him to Envy, Infernal Fire Rain will get increased modifiers to his 7-star abilities. His main damage skills in base form are Fire and Earth physical chaining skills. So he doesn't get any new skills after his Envy awakening. So here is the passive that will increase his modifiers. The Pact with Ifrit, level 5, increased static attack 500, increased modifier 30 to Earth Saber plus IF, Blaze Saber plus IF. Increase modifier 6 times to King Saber, Grand Shalt Saber, and Fire Beast Roar. He also gets 100% LB damage passive, more intense than a Fire of Hell, increase LB damage by 100. He does decent damage with his Earth and Fire Azure chaining skills thanks to the added modifiers. He can buff 100% Beast and Plant Killer to himself. His LB gauge is also max at the start of battle. So this is it. Beast Breaker, increase physical damage against beasts and plants. 100 for 4 turns to caster, increase LB gauge fill rate. 150 for 4 turns to caster. Also increases modifier for 4 turns to caster and can't be dispelled. Modifier for Grand Shelt Saber. Also, Unleash Power, autocast Unleash Power at the start of battle, and that's increase LB gauge 100 to caster. He doesn't gain any new attacks, as I said before, with this new Vision Awakening. LB doesn't get a modifier boost, so it's still stuck at 48 mod, and it's locked to fire. And he also doesn't have triple cast on turn 1, so you have to unlock it. He has double cast. So that's the base form's weakness. Alright, so here's the sample rotation for the base form. You do the Fire Beast Rage, Beast Breaker, and then Earth Saber, Gantry Saber times 2. So those are SR chaining skills. And then so on and so forth. On turn 3, use Fire Beast Roar to unlock the higher versions of the attacks, Earth Saber Plus. And then turn 4, you triple cast the Earth Saber. And then it goes into cooldown. Turn 5, you reapply your buffs, and then repeat. Turn 6, repeat from turn 3. So those are his mods. Pretty average. But if you don't have any better damage dealer, if you're fighting plants or beasts, if they're weak to fire or earth, he is a good candidate to bring to the fight. So how do we build his base form? So look at his passives. Build the base form for True Double Hand because he has innate 150 True Double Hand and 170 attack passive. So best equips for him would be Cross Ageon Arm or Buster Sword KH Cloud if you have it, and a Master of Fate from Envy Cloud, so you can maximize his TDH, so you only need 50 more. Coin of Fate Sabin, Warlord Leg Guards for the flat attack, and his SCMR to proc his Trust passive, which is his Infernal Garb. Best vision card when equipped with the Cross Ageon Arm is Madam and the Giant Bird Bennu. You will have at least one slot for killers. So looking at his passives here, so you need to equip either his TMR or SCMR for the attack 50, and also for the Ifrit bonus stats. If you equip him with Ifrit, 50% bonus stats from Ifrit will get reflected to him. And also has innate beast and plant killer 50%, LB damage of 50. Also gets modifier boost to his attacks. Also has guts above 1%, max 1 time. Resistance to earth and fire 30%. Immune to sleep, paralyze, and confuse. And autofills his LB gauge turn 1. When he turns into when he shifts into his brave shift form, he turns into a fire evoke damage dealer like Envy-Terra. So they even use the same elements. The main advantage of evoke damage is that you won't need any killers. Killers don't really affect the damage that evoke damage does. He gains bolting strike, evoke damage chaining abilities. He can boost his LB damage by 250 and break spirit by 80 at the same time. So these are the attacks. Number 1, Flame Summon level 5 fire evoke damage 73. And then 100% to one enemy bolting strike. So that means it uses 100% of your mag stat and none of the spirit stat for the damage for the damage calculation. Right? Flame Beast Sword Dance, 3-turn cooldown, available on turn 3. Fire evoke damage 90, 100% to one enemy, decrease spirit 80% for 2 turns to enemies, increase LB damage 250% for 3 turns to caster. It also can't be dispelled, bolting strike, pain. Alright, so Infernal Fire Rain can also be built for evoke LB damage. He has 100% LB damage passive that is shared by both forms. He has an active LB damage buff of 250. It's also easy to fire his LB since he fills it turn 1 in his base form and has a skill that fills LB gauge. So this is his LB. It's called the Blaze Claw. Max level 40, 24 hits, cost 24 crisps. It's a fire evoke damage LB 70 and 100 to one enemy. Blaze of Grandshield. This is the Grandis ability. 2 uses per battle, unique selection, and multicast. Increase mag 300% for 4 turns to caster, and enable skill for 5 turns to caster Triple Saber. Increase LB gauge 24 to caster autocast. After 3 turns, increase LB gauge 24 to caster. So you'll be able to fire off his LB at least 2 times. Right, so his BS form lasts for 4 turns, and then he goes back to base form. Utility skills, he has the Howl of the Flame Beast, decreases fire resistance 120 for 4 turns to enemy, increase resistance on mag break 100% for 4 turns to caster. So, what are the weaknesses of his shift form? He doesn't have any mag passives in his kit, so it's gonna be hard to cap on the mag part. But Item World will help with that. If you have weapons, you run them through Item World, increase their mag percent passives. He has 50% Magic True Dual Wield, but he doesn't have innate Dual Wield, so you need to sacrifice a slot for our materia so he can have Dual Wield weapons. And also doesn't have the 6 times chain modifier cap. Also doesn't have multicast on turn 1. BS form only lasts 4 turns, so just enough to fire off 2 LBs. Also very hard to gear since he's missing all those mag passives. He doesn't have innate dual wield. Right? So these are his BS form passive. Increase Evo mag 50, increase MP, increase equipment attack 200% when single wielding. That's a trust passive. And increase equipment mag 150 when dual wielding, also trust. Increase static mag 500, also a trust ability. Increase static mag further 500. Increase LB damage 100. Increase evoke damage 100. Also has guts above 1%. Increase resistance to sleep, paralyzed, confused 100. Recover MP 7% per turn. Also has the Ifrit area effect like Envy-Terra. Increases fire magic damage 25 for 3 turns to all areas, but it doesn't work for his LB. Alright, so what's the sample rotation for BS form? So you shift first, can shift on turn 1. Unlock your triple cast by using Blaze of Grandshield. Apply 300 mag buff and autofill LB gauge after 3 turns. So that's one skill. Then you break spirit by 80%, buff LB damage by 250, Imperial Fire by 120, and you chain W bolting strike while doing all those. Then on turn 3 and turn 4, you fire off your LB twice in a row, and then it goes back to base form. It goes into cooldown. So on turn 4, The autofill LB will proc, so that's why you have a full LB gauge on turn 4. Alright, so just do some support chains and fire off his LB on turn 3 and 4. So equip him with how do you build this BS form? Equip him with this TMR to activate his Trust passive. His STMR is an armor, doesn't have any flat mag on it, so rather use this TMR to proc his Trust passive. Also needs a materia to enable dual wield, so we're going to use Love for Trabia, that's Selfie's STMR. Build him for evoke damage, LB, and mag, also Evo mag. Some great equips include Black Roselia from Sakura of the Delta Star, SCMR. Originator of the Final Summoning from Eurasia, SCMR. Dark Gambetin, DV Reward, max that out. Minister's Coat, that's Shantoto's SCMR. Rydia's Headband from Pure Summoner Rydia, and Guardian of Light Sora from Sora KH3. So to top it all off with a mag-based vision card from maybe Ibarra or Envy Sol. Notice I left out all the things from Envy Terra, because why would you use Infernal Rain if you already have Envy Terra? Alright, so my final thoughts on Infernal Rain is good at killing plants. Based in his base form, he has Earth and Fire SR chaining skills. You can triple cast them. Auto LB fill on turn 1. His base form, LB is so weak that he can't really benefit from that. So his Brave Shift form should benefit from the auto LB fill on turn 1. He turns into a Fire Evoke Damage Healer in Shift form. He can repair Fire, Break Spirit, Boost Nag, and buff LB damage. On his kit, that's in his kit, he can fire off his LB twice before the form goes into cooldown. In comparison to Envy Terra, she can only LB once, because her BS form only lasts for 2 turns. Alright, so he is very hard to gear, however, and suffers from a lack of mag passives. His TMR and SCMR doesn't really help alleviate the problem. They don't have any mag, flat mag or mag percentage. He also doesn't have any dual wield, so he has to sacrifice a materia slot to enable it. He doesn't need any equipment slots for killers, so that helps. So that frees up stuff, so he can just put the dual wield equipped materia there in place of the killer materia. Overall, if I didn't have Envy Terra, I would awaken him to Envy. I really like his sprites. I like the design of the unit. I took a look at his sprites while I was making this video. They were really cool. Okay, his BS form is self-sufficient, so he can Imperial Fire, Break Spirit, Boost Mag, buff his own LB damage by 250. That's really high, by the way. And so you don't need a lot of external support. You just need a support, a chain to cap with this LB. Doesn't really need killers too. So it can be useful in DV where you need to gear as many damage healers as possible. So you can just gear your best damage dealer with the killers, and then he doesn't need any killers, and he can do damage without any killers. So however, to maximize his potential, you will need a lot of SCMRs, like I said on the previous slides, that provide LB damage, Evo Mag, Evoke damage, and Mag. So he's the first evoke damage healer that is an NVA. That means he's not a base NV. So if you're missing Terra and you have the evoke mag, evo damage, evo mag, LB damage, and mag SCMRs lying around, I would suggest to awaken him to Envy and maybe use him in a couple trials and in DV. That is if you don't have Envy Terra. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if I missed anything. And then click on the notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you for the support. Channel is growing. Thank you guys for watching my videos. Really appreciate the support. And till next time, bye-bye.